The Mule and the Fox. It was a quiet afternoon in the forest, the sun casting long shadows as the wind rustled through the trees. In the distance, a mule trudged along the narrow path, his hooves beating a steady rhythm against the ground. His name was Max, and he was known to be an unassuming creature, strong and steady, but not the sharpest tool in the shed. Yet on this day, Max carried with him something more than just the heavy load on his back. As he plodded along, unaware of the watchful eyes that followed him from the underbrush, a fox named Felix crouched low behind a bush. Felix was sly, cunning, and always on the lookout for his next opportunity. He had heard rumors about Max, the mule who was always talking about his secret powers. But Felix knew better than to believe such nonsense. Still, curiosity got the better of him. Felix had seen Max in the woods before, and he couldn't help but wonder, was there more to the mule than met the eye? He had to find out. Felix crept closer, his heart racing as he stayed hidden just a few paces behind Max. He watched as the mule suddenly stopped, his ears twitching. There was something different in the air now, a change. Felix couldn't place it, but he could feel the tension rising. Was Max aware of his presence? Without warning, Max turned around. "I know you're there, Felix," he said, his voice calm, almost too calm. "I can hear every rustle in the leaves, every footstep on the ground." Felix froze, his eyes widening. How could the mule know he was there? The trees were dense, and the wind was strong. It was impossible for Max to hear him. Was it possible? Had the rumors been true? Did Max really have powers? The mule stood tall, his head raised, his eyes scanning the shadows. "I can sense your fear," Max continued, his tone deepening. "You think I'm just an ordinary mule, but I'm far more than that." Felix felt a chill run down his spine. He had been around enough to know when someone was bluffing, but this felt different. He could see the glint in Max's eyes, the way he held himself, like a creature with a secret. Max took a slow, deliberate step forward, and Felix's heart skipped a beat. He felt trapped, cornered. He was no longer the hunter, he was the prey. "Do you see the power I possess?" Max said softly, his voice carrying a weight of authority Felix had never heard before. "I can move mountains, change the course of rivers, and make the sky tremble. No one in this forest dares cross me. Not anymore." Felix's mind raced. This was insane. He had to get out of here. But his body was frozen, rooted to the spot as the mule stepped closer. Each word Max spoke seemed to grow louder, more powerful, until Felix could almost feel the ground beneath him quiver with the force of it. Max paused, then gave Felix a sly smile. "I suggest you leave, Felix, before I decide to show you just how powerful I truly am." Felix, his fear now overpowering his usual wit, scrambled to his feet and dashed away, his paws pounding the forest floor as he fled. The sound of his retreating footsteps echoed through the trees, but Max didn't move. He stood still, watching the fox disappear into the distance, a knowing smile playing on his lips. As the forest grew quiet once more, Max's expression softened, and he let out a deep sigh. The truth was, he didn't have any magical powers. He was just an ordinary mule. But in that moment, Max had realized something. Sometimes the greatest power lay not in what one could do, but in what others believed you could do. With a satisfied nod, Max turned back to the path and continued on his way, his steps now lighter, as if a burden had been lifted. He might not have been the most clever creature in the forest, but he had certainly learned a valuable lesson. And somewhere, in the deep shadows of the trees, Felix the Fox vowed to be far more careful about what he believed in the future. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to help the channel grow.